Are remastered CDs good or bad? Wow, that question comes from Alfred in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And Alfred writes, how can I know if a remastered CD will sound better than the original? I ask because I've read bad reviews about Chicago's new remaster, the CTA CD. I have the last remastered CTA CD, and it sounds good to me. I thought remastering was supposed to be better. You see remasters on most CDs now, and am I making too much about this? Thanks for your time. I wish there were an easy answer to this, Alfred. There was a whole scam for a while where, I don't know, a few years back, there was a whole raft of high-resolution remastered CDs. And when we looked at those CDs, because you can put them onto an analyzer and look at them, and you can see what the actual sample rate and bit rate is if you have the proper equipment to do it. And there was really nothing high-res about it. They were CDs who had either been upsampled or just, well, I think they were mostly upsampled. And upsampling, while it's a great practice in DACs, and we do it inside of our direct stream and a number of other DACs, just upsampling something and then putting it out as a remaster is neither a remaster nor is it going to sound much better, if at all, than your standard CD. And that's kind of a ripoff. And there were some unscrupulous people who either by intent or by mistake did that kind of thing, got caught for it, and then they got a bad rap. And that those bad raps, they tend to stick around for a while. So I think that's kind of how all that got going. But let's talk about remastering. Remastering is something that at Octave Studios upstairs, where Gus Skinnis does a lot of remastering, mastering. That's quite an art. And MoFi, Mobile Fidelity, they have a whole studio dedicated to that. And that's where you take a master tape, an original copy of something, whether it be digital or analog, and by remastering it, you make a better copy, either a true higher resolution copy of the analog tape. So let's say you take an older tape that was done in the 60s or 70s, 80s, and you know that the original digital version on CD was a clunky old 48 kilohertz, poorly done master from the original analog tape. So you could take that analog tape, you could remaster it, as Gus does upstairs, and do it at a very high resolution, make a much better copy, and it sounds gloriously better. That's totally legit. The other kind of remastering is sort of a remixing, and Mobile Fidelity does a lot of that. They'll kind of, I don't know if it's actual remix, but they'll re-EQ it. They'll do things to it to try and make it sound better, and then present it to you at a higher resolution or on vinyl. So those are two different kind of things, and you'd want to just look at its heritage and see if it was just a new higher digital resolution copy, or was it somebody got in there and tweaked and changed the EQ and stuff to make it sound better. And then that's up to the mastering engineer. Steve Hoffman, Gus Skinnis, there's a number of mastering engineers, and they all have their own little tastes, what they think sounds better, and you may or may not agree with those. So that gets a little tricky. But in general, today, I think what started that whole furor and got that bad rap going has kind of gone away. And so I don't think we need to worry about that again. But yeah, it's definitely a thing, but I don't think it is anymore. So I think you're probably safe. Just check the heritage. And I don't pay a whole lot of attention to reviews because you don't know what those people like. So that's a whole different story. Okay, thank you for the question. I will talk to you later. Okay, bye.